Has the Omicron surge made you less optimistic about the future?
It's changing my attitude towards people. I didn't realize that there were such extremes within the population. Regarding the economy, no. What's happening here is supply chain issues. I don't get the mass resignation. The economists are calling it the Great Resignation, equivalent to the Great Depression. There are things that I don't understand. There are things that I resent, but we're going to come through it. We're going to come through it.
I think in a way it's made me more optimistic, where you see the hospitalizations are down. And I think everyone is just becoming more and more aware of COVID-19 and the coronavirus in general. And honestly, I think everyone's response to this wave has been the best, I think. We were able to keep some things going. We didn't do a full shutdown. So I'm cautiously optimistic that we're slowly figuring a way to navigate through this.
It's interesting. I find Omicron is the first time I've felt hopeful in a long time. Not to minimize it in any way, but I'm very hopeful that more people will catch it and not be severely affected, and then hopefully they don't have to worry about it for a little while. And then that in itself will give people hope. Okay, I can survive this for the most part. I'm very sensitive to vulnerable populations. However, I just think that this is one that the majority of the population can catch and hopefully get through it unscathed.
I mean, I see on TV people not wearing masks. You know, a lot of people aren't getting their vaccine. It's just, if you don't take it serious, how are we ever going to get under control?
I think the Omicron surge has made me more optimistic. I think we're seeing a reduction of the severity of the disease itself, and I think the light at the end of the tunnel is kind of near, and I think everyone's going to kind of get this illness, and it's going to become a regular virus that's just in rotation. But we'll see how it plays out.
I guess it's going to be like the flu. You just have to be more vigilant, more careful, and simple things. Wash your hands. I know after all this is done, I may still wear my mask indoors.
Not really. I mean, this is the way these things go. I mean, Delta did the same thing. Omicron, unless, Omicron doesn't put most people in the hospital or get them deathly ill, unless, of course, they're immunocompromised and aren't vaccinated. And, the big thing that they're talking about is they're saying, well, we were told if we got the vaccines, we wouldn't get the virus. No, that's not really it. The thing is, if we get the virus, it helps our body fight Omicron. And I think just eventually, as we're starting to see, and they're starting to see it in the world, that the Omicron is starting to go down. So I think everybody just has to be diligent, be patient, and do their best to wear a mask and do what they have to do.
No, I just think it's the way we manage it. It should be part of a fact. Like you see other European countries like Ireland, England going towards living with the pandemic, living with these kind of surges, instead of these complete closures, on how to just work within a situation, because it's never going to end. First, there's always going to be some sort of variant that comes forward.
That in the short term, yes, we're going to still be suffering the effects of this Omicron variant for many months. But after a year or two, I think we'll be back in where we were prior to the pandemic.
It's just one of those things. It was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Is it ever going to be over? It's what at that point now we're just like, I don't even know what to expect of the future. It's so here and there. Hopefully that was the last little negative bit of it and we can just move on.
At the moment, yeah. I mean, it's no fun walking around like this. I want to get it over with. I'm sure everybody does. But if people are still getting sick and they're still ending up in the hospital, it's because they're not vaccinated. So, the future doesn't look too bright at the moment. Hopefully it'll come to an end soon.
I think it's interesting. I think I'm optimistic, I'm an optimistic person in general. So because of that, I think it helps me. but definitely not short term.
People who have come around to other ways of doing things because the traditional way has not been available, I think that's been very positive. And I think there's been a lot of innovations during the pandemic, people doing things differently. And I think that it's time to just put our focus in another direction and maybe dial down on the fear a little bit.
You know, even through the Omicron, so many times I've said it's going to be over, and I'm the optimistic guy, so I've still got a lot of optimism left in me.
Well, it makes you rethink the future. It almost, which I hope most of us have done, is taken the time to really do a restart on our own plans and see, hey, what could I do better? Should I change the way I'm doing things, or, you know, just a different way of looking at things and maybe plan something different, you know.
COVID has been a way of nature saying, go to your room, you don't know how to take care of the world and the planet, which is our Mother Earth.
No, I think these things will come and these too shall pass.